Hello, I'm here again. Another episode of Max One on One, and I'm here with my friend Mike Floros. He has a new band. Of course, we know him for Steel City, but now he has a new band, Love These Days. So that band is because of the Kiss song, because I love that song.
Yeah, absolutely. This it's kind of just this was like a weird thing. It's like when we started this Love and Change project out. It initially started with just Rob Kane, who is the lead singer for the Apocalyptic Lovers, and myself. We asked Jason Cornwell to play bass on it, and we asked another drummer to be a part of it. And those guys were just like so incredibly busy. Jason, he's got like a million different things going on at once that it ended up just being a project between Rob and me, and then Eric Johnson from Bombay Black actually ended up playing the bass and the drums on the album.
Wow.
So we have a touring band that includes Brian Carl from, he's formerly of Station. He currently tours with Westbound a lot. And then Jason, of course, is going to be the touring bass player. When we do the next album, those guys, of course, will be on it. But it started with just basically me and Rob. And the goal was to make this band kind of like, we chose a Kiss song for the name because we wanted to make the band like Kiss, where it's like, okay, we've got a Paul, we've got a Gene, we've got a Peter, and we've got an A. We wanted to just basically be guitar-oriented rock.
Yeah.
And then, Rob and I were sending our vocal tracks to Ty Sims, our mix engineer, and he and I co-produced the album together. And Ty kept sending me back all of the tracks with Rob's vocals. Kind of like the same thing that happened with Steel City. And I was like, Ty, what's going on, man? I said, do my vocals suck? And he's like, no, man. He goes, your vocals are fine. His are just better than yours. so a thing that was supposed to be more like Kiss ended up being just, Rob singing. And it's great because when you hear the album, it's just out of worldly. Rob's vocals are just stellar.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I love it. Like, what a voice. I was going to tell you that because the range is beautiful. It's like it has all what a singer has to have in order to
now know why Ty was like, yeah, your vocals are okay. His are better. Because it's when you listen to it, it's going to be, when people hear it for the first time, it's going to be blatantly obvious. And, in keeping with the fact that we wanted to make it more like Kiss, we actually did include a Kiss cover on this album. And oh my gosh, when Rob hits those highs at the end, where the song is Love Gun. When he hits those highs at the end, the first time I heard it, I was just absolutely floored. I was like, oh my goodness. And he's a great singer, and I know that. But not to take anything away from his abilities, it surprised even me. I was like, holy cow! Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I was just in awe. I was like, okay, there you go. I get it. So yeah, it's fun. It's the album. We started a pre-sale on it. The album's called Everyday Heroes for obvious reasons. We're saluting to police, armed services, fire, and healthcare workers, and it's actually, if you take a look at the cover, you can kind of see that.
That's very cool, man. Very cool. Why? Sorry to interrupt. Why you decided to, dedicate this honor, the first responders?
Well, the song, actually, I think I started writing it for the most part pre-pandemic. And then as the pandemic was coming through and 2020's rolling through, I remember going out going into a COVID unit, and if people are saying, oh, you guys are heroes and all that. No, you're kind of like, you're very appreciative of what they're saying, but you're like, man, we're just doing our job. But you really kind of feel for people that are just, the police, you have people that are, you have people on both sides of the political argument that are just kind of for and against, and you're like, these guys need to be appreciated. The firemen need to be appreciated. When you're a respiratory therapist or a nurse, like I walked into a unit during the pandemic where there was like 35, 40 people in a unit, and it's a regular floor. And all of these people probably needed to be in an intensive care unit, and you're just thrown into the fire, and you're like, I'm going to do the best that I can for every single patient. And you just kind of start feeling that way. And so the song kind of came about in that regard. The really cool thing about that particular song is I reached out to some of my friends who are actually policemen, firemen. Like Rob reached out to his bandmate who's a fireman and asked him for some terminology for fire. and the policeman. I have a cousin that's a cop, and they just sent us like good ideas for like lyrics, so we just kind of added those in. And so when you read like who wrote this song, all the people that are given credit, it's gonna look like a rap song. So you'd be like 8 people that have written it, because you look at those rap songs, it just says "I love you, baby," written by 9,000 people. So it's kind of going to be that way, but know going in, the people that wrote that song are policemen, are firemen.
How cool is that, man?
Healthcare workers. Yeah.
Mike, how was the process of recording this record?
It's probably pretty close to the usual process for me. Sometimes the riff comes first, sometimes the lyrics will come first in the song, whatever. But I record everything. Whether it's, I'll program out some drums in the home studio, which is, as you can see right behind me.
Cool.
Program out some drums, play the bass, play all the guitars. If there's keyboards, I'll get those done, and then I'll do like a scratch track of vocals. And what I'll do is then I'll send that to Ty, and I'll send it to Rob. And what we'll do is we'll get the song pretty much done. We'll take he'll just strip it down to basically my guitars. Then he'll redo the drums, like Eric redid the drums, played the bass, send it over to Rob. Rob sings the vocals, sings some of the backing vocals, sings it back to Eric. Eric sings some more of the backing vocals, which, just being straight about that. And then, voila, you have a finished product that's been mixed and mastered.
Cool.
But each song is kind of different if you're asking where the song comes from. Yeah. Like, for instance, with the Steel City song, the song Steal Your Heart, first time it ever happened, I wrote the entire song around the guitar solo. Because I just had an idea in my head for the guitar solo, and I was like, oh gosh, now I have to come up with the rest. I have to come up with the rest of the song. So then I just found some riffs that really just kind of went with it, and then I found some lyrics that I wrote in like 1990, and I put it over top of it. And and then so like each process is different. And like Love Gun, the only thing I played on Love Gun was the guitar solo. Rob played all the rhythm guitars. I mean, so it's like every process is just a little bit different.
What about one of my favorite songs, Locked and Loaded? I mean, what a way to start a CD, man, an album, man. Like, it's like, pow!
Oh, yeah. It's like, there's, what is it? I think it was Mike Tyson that might have said, he's like, everybody's got a plan so you get punched in the face, right? So, so I figured, if people are going to go into an album, they've got a plan on how they're going to listen to it. Wrong. We're going to punch you in the face right from the get-go. I think if you listen to it, when people listen to it, they're going to kind of derive where the actual inspiration for that song came from. It's kind of like a mix between Van Halen and Queen. When you listen to it, you could probably hear Stone Cold Crazy, like the influence of Stone Cold Crazy on there, and then you could also hear like the chorus is actually very Van Halen inspired.
Right.
But the only sad thing about that song, for me and for Rob, there was a bridge in there that it was like a very jazzy type bridge, and it was right before the bridge guitar solo. Ty just kept calling it, oh, that's your jazz odyssey. No, we're not going to have jazz bass odyssey. That's not happening. So it was like an executive decision by Ty to not have it, but we loved it. And it was actually a tip of the cap to my father, who was a jazz musician and a very good one. But I guess it, it kind of did take away from the punch of the song, where it was just kept hitting you. So,
so I'm still getting familiar. Cherry Wine. That's the opposite, right? It's slow, very romantic.
It's I wrote about my wife. The love song to my wife.
And what did she say? What did she say? Sorry, when she heard it, she was that's what I want to know. She was happy.
My wife is always happy about that. About that kind of stuff. I mean, and she's very supportive. I mean, probably, she doesn't go to a lot of shows with me, quite honestly, because she's really, and just being complete and full disclosure, this isn't really her style of music. It's really not her scene. But she's always very supportive of the process itself. She's always very supportive of music. And I think she was, of course, it was very heartfelt for her to have a song written for her, as I think any woman would probably feel that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the song's about her. And when I was writing the song, and again, I don't know if you could really hear it. I've heard like from, people who've had like advanced copy of the album, they've heard that it has a very Tesla vibe to it.
Okay.
But when I was writing the song, I actually heard Ann Wilson. Like, you always hear voices when I'm writing. I heard Ann Wilson singing the song.
Wow.
I was hoping to make the song a duet. It just wasn't going to become a reality. So, but Rob absolutely knocked it out of the park. It really doesn't need to be. I just thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been a cool idea, and I thought it would have been a good experience, like a positive experience for Rob to be able to do a duet, because I don't think he's done one on the album. By the way, if anybody wants to pick up the album, if you don't mind, just shameless plug right here, they can go to www.shopidora.com, which Idora is my S corp. So we've got all the Steel City stuff, all the Love and Change stuff under www.shopidora.com.
Yeah.
They can pick it up there, or they could just look for Love and Change on Bandcamp as well.
Cool.
But
the
cool thing is if you click on it on, if you go to the Love and Change website, you click on it, I think it takes you right to Bandcamp.
Love in Chains is the band to go now, to the band to listen. Please don't miss this amazing band, this amazing record. Mike, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon, brother.
We will be seeing each other soon. Very cool.
Yeah.